There are some stories that feel inseparable from the medium they were born in, and Silent Hill 2 is one of those stories. When it was released in 2001, it didn't just redefine horror games, it redefined what storytelling in games could look like. It was psychological, it was ambiguous, and it trusted players to make their own interpretations. Most importantly, it made the player complicit in uncovering its meaning. So when Return to Silent Hill was announced, adapting Silent Hill 2 specifically, my reaction was mixed. Hope, because director Christoph Gans was returning after his visually striking 2006 film and MJ Bassett's abysmal second film in the trilogy, but also trepidation, because adapting Silent Hill 2 wouldn't just be about recreating plot beats. It's about recreating a psychological and emotional journey. And that's where things get complicated. So let's start with what works. Visually, Return to Silent Hill is often striking, though severely limited by its budget. Gans still understands how to frame this world. The fog drenched streets, the rusted metal grates, the ash falling like snow, it's painterly in places. There are shots that genuinely capture that oppressive industrial dread that defines Silent Hill as a setting. Iconic imagery returns: Pyramid Head, the nurses, the shifting otherworld. Fans of the games will recognize this imagery immediately. Atmosphere has always been Gans' strength, and that hasn't changed, but atmosphere alone isn't enough. Fundamental challenge here is this: Silent Hill 2 wasn't just scary because of what it showed you, it was scary because of what it made you do. You walked those hallways, you opened those doors, you sat with the uncertainty, and the horror was participatory. In film, it becomes passive and rushed. You're watching James Sunderland's psychological unraveling condensed into 106 minutes instead of inhabiting it. The movie follows the broad strokes of the game. James receives a letter from his dead wife Mary, he returns to Silent Hill, and he searches through decaying spaces haunted by both monsters and memories. But the emotional interiority, the suffocating guilt, the slow realization of truth feels compressed, gestured toward, but not fully explored. And that's where it starts to feel limited. Cinema absolutely can handle this kind of symbolic psychological storytelling, and we've seen it done masterfully by filmmakers like David Lynch in films like Mulholland Drive or Lost Highway, where dream logic, trauma, and metaphor are allowed to breathe without being over-explained. But Lynch and other filmmakers have operated with total creative autonomy and the resources to let ambiguity linger. Return to Silent Hill, on the other hand, feels constrained by franchise expectations, by runtime, by budget, and by the commercial rhythms of modern horror filmmaking. The film occasionally wants to be abstract and symbolic, but it moves through these beats so quickly and dismissively that it never fully trusts the audience enough to let silence do the work. The performances are earnest, and there's sincerity here. Gans clearly respects the material, and he's not treating Silent Hill like disposable IP. But some emotional revelations don't land with the same cumulative force they have in the game. The dialogue occasionally struggles to balance abstraction with naturalism, and certain scenes that should devastate instead pass by more quickly than they should, or in some instances are intentionally watered down from the darkness of the source material, pulling punches where they shouldn't. It's not necessarily incompetence, it's compression. This film highlights a larger issue with video game adaptations, especially ones based on deeply psychological games. Fidelity to plot does not guarantee fidelity to feeling. You can recreate the monsters and locations, but if you can't recreate the emotional and psychological experience, something essential is lost. I wouldn't necessarily call this film a complete failure. Like I said, it's fascinating. It's uneven and flawed, but it's at least sincere. And in an era of cynical franchise filmmaking, sincerity does count for something. But would I recommend Return to Silent Hill broadly? Probably not. And at the end of the day, I can't call it a good film. Casual viewers will likely find it opaque, and those unfamiliar with the game will undoubtedly struggle to connect with its abstractions at all. I would certainly much rather encourage them to give the 2024 video game remake of Silent Hill 2 a try instead. But for die-hard Silent Hill fans, and for anyone interested in the evolving language of video game adaptations, this trilogy of films has at least been a compelling experiment. Return to Silent Hill doesn't disgrace Silent Hill 2, but it certainly doesn't do justice to it. Instead, it wanders the fog in between. So thank you for watching Fandom Frontline. Are you a fan of the Silent Hill games? What did you think of Return to Silent Hill and the Silent Hill film trilogy as a whole? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.